I love dragonflies, and I thought I would share this project with you. It's something I designed years and years ago in a book called Making Beautiful Bead and Wire Jewelry, and you'll find this on Amazon or in a bookstore. This project originally was a hair grip, but obviously could be a necklace, could be a brooch. As I said, it could also be a decoration. So it's very much the same. So if you have this book, you can follow it again in there, or do buy the book. It's got lots and lots of lovely projects in it. Very much a sort of upcycling book. So what we're going to do, here's a necklace. In fact, I made a sort of asymmetric where the dragonfly is flying around, or you can hang it and suspend it from each of the side wings and create a pendant. I've chosen some crystal beads because I love the sort of glistening sparkle that the beads will give for the dragonfly. So you want 5 beads, 4 for the body and 1 for the head, and then maybe some seed beads that you can scatter into the wings to give it a bit more sparkle. I'm using 0.8 millimeter wire, that's silver plated copper, and I'm going to cut about 8 inches or so. And about a third of the way along, I'm going to thread the bead on and then bend the wire into a sort of in half, into a hook, leaving one longer end and one shorter end. One is going to be the main stem and the other is going to be the wire that wraps around the beads. So feed the bead right into the end and then wrap the wire tightly at the top of the bead, and that will hold it in place. And the first one is always a little bit tricky. You've got to wrap it around as tight as you can. So you've got one straight stem and one wrapping wire. So you're going to do that again to all the beads. So again, thread on another crystal or whatever bead you've got, and then wrap around. So it's going from one side to the other, the wraps. And then just a little one wrap at the top, and then another bead, and then again wrap around, and another wrap, and so forth. You can, of course, just thread the beads on, and there are many ways of doing the body, but this is how I actually quite like it. It's very abstract. So again, wrap around. It just highlights those lovely beads. And then on the fourth one, do a couple of wraps, because I want a bigger gap between the body and the head bead, because that's where the wings are going to go. So now you've got to the end and you've just got 2 wires, just trim them so that they are the same length. And these are going to be the antennae. And with a dragonfly doesn't actually have antennae like this, like a butterfly. So I make them a bit shorter. And then you can spiral those on each side just to add extra decoration. So using the tips of your round nose pliers, create a single little loop on each of the projecting wires and roll them around to get 2 spirals on either side. And that will give you the antennae. These are small, short ones, and if you want something a bit more decorative, you can use more wire for the body and have bigger spirals. Those then need to be work hardened, so just put the edges on a block, just the end of the spiral, give them a tap with the steel head of the whammer, and they'll flatten and work harden and spread. So now you've got the body ready. So the next thing is to create the wings. I'm going to use the same wire, 0.8, 20 gauge, and I'm going to cut about 12 to 14 inches. That is also dependent on the size beads you've used and how big you want to make the wings. So find the center of the wire, place it underneath the head bead, and wrap it once around to secure it just under that head bead and above the 4th bead. bring those 2 wires out on each side, and now we're going to create the wings. So if you've got a pen or a pencil, or even better, a bail making pliers like I have, you can use that to make the ends, the rounded ends of the wings. So just grip that and create the length of wing that you want. So these can be as long as the wire you've got, and just wrap it round twice on that spot and then straighten out the wire. So you're going to do the same with the other projecting wire. So grip it and bring it round. I'm not measuring, so wait a minute, that's a little bit short, so I'm just going to bring it round and have a look. Bring it a bit longer. I mean, you can use a ruler and measure them to be the same. I'm doing this by eye, really. So again, another wing on the other side, and once that's done and you're happy with it, then wrap that wire once around so it comes to sit at the opposite side. So you still have the 2 projecting wires to do the base wings. The base wings I do usually a tiny bit smaller than the top wings, and then just wrap it around so you can feed it in between the big wing. Wrap it around, and you can, if you've got lots left over, you can create a spiral and flatten it against the top of the body underneath the head bead. But like me, I haven't got much on this one. I think I'll have more on the other one. So if I have enough, I'll make a spiral. So again, second base wing, wrap it around, and then bring it around to the middle. Yeah, I have enough now to create a little spiral that can be flattened against the wraps, which will hide all that all the makings underneath. So create a little hook and then roll the wire around itself to create a nice tight spiral, and bring it in to the center underneath the head bead and just flatten it, squash it down, and that gives a nice decorative little look to the piece as well. So now you've got the wings, you want to wire into those with finer wire. I'm just going to hammer the ends of the wings to work harden them, and that means they're nice and firm and stable, ready for the wiring. So just concentrate on the edges and the ends more than near the center, because you don't want to hammer near the beads. So you're just sort of like stroke hammering. There we go. And now we've got nice strong framework ready to do some wiring. And the wiring can be exactly how you want it. You can do it more regularly than me. I'm going to do it in a very organic way. I'm just going to wire wrap inside. So I'm using 0.4 of a millimeter, but any fine wire will do. It could be 0.3 millimeters, anything like that. And I'm cutting a nice long, sort of an arm's length, and adjusting it, well, securing it at the center so that I can do one top wing. So I'm wrapping it and then securing it at the edge of each side of the wing. So completely around the side, and then at the top, completely around the side. And it's just sort of, it's like colouring in. It's just going backwards and forwards in between the wings, so that it's secured within that space. So basically you want to fill in the space of the wings with, it could be coloured wires, you could keep adding wires on top and layering it, and it's very much up to you how full you wish to make these wings. You can make them quite lacy, or you can make them quite full. So you'll just keep doing that with different wires. I'm going to use I think another coloured wire as well, and I will definitely add a few little seed beads to add a bit more sparkle. So I'm going to leave that choice up to you. The main thing to do is, once you've wired in one wing, you just tweak the straight lines of the wrapping so that it doesn't look too straight and regimental. You see, I'm just doing a tiny little twist with the tips of my chain nose pliers, and that creates a nice sort of organic look to the wing. And then with my nylon head on the hammer, I can just tap that down, and that fills up that gap. So that's one layer, and you can see how I've added another color and then a few little seed beads, and there you have it, the final wings finished. And here are some more variations to give you some idea of different colors. Many thanks for watching.